What's going on, guys? Mr. T here. Welcome back, and we've got another video sponsored by our patron today for a $100 Commander-ish bundle. And the cards included are going to be based off of Nahiri. If you aren't familiar with the concept yet, I've been making content for the channel based off of these bundles that we're selling. Basically, it's for $100 you're going to get 3 collector packs. This one's also going to include this promo pack, this promo card, because I just opened this Capenna collector booster box. So congrats, Dominic. I know Gallic Readers, not the most expensive promo, box topper, whatever you want to call it, but it is there for you. And we're going to get right into Nahiri, Heir of the Ancients. For 2, a red and a white, my friend, it's going to create a +1, or it's going to, for its +1, it's going to create a 1/1 white core warrior creature token, and you can attach equipment to it. Alright, so then for -2, you're going to look at the top 6 cards of your library. You can reveal a warrior equipment card from among them and put it into your hand, and then you can put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And then for -3, it's going to deal damage to creature or planeswalker equal to twice the number of equipment you control, which hopefully should be quite a few. So we're going to get right into what's included in this bundle. Obviously the Gallic Readers, we have a new Capenna collector pack, we have Kaldheim collector, and an Infinity collector pack as well. Bundles $100. We also offer a $60 bundle, which is a fully built Commander deck. Those Infinity lands, by the way, absolutely gorgeous. Alright, we're going to keep Nahiri up there. See if I can... You know, I don't think I'm going to be able to really keep her on the screen for you guys. Anyways, we'll set her off to the side then. Starting off, we're going to just go through some of the key cards that I included in here that I came across. As a reminder, the decks are pretty much built pretty random. I just go through the collection of cards I have, and anything that synergizes with the deck, I include that in there. I think I actually went a little too heavy on the uncommons and commons. I'm too lazy to take them out, so I think you got 35 uncommon commons. Starting off with Mentor of the Meek. Nahiri is going to give you that creature every turn with 1/1, so you can pay 1, you're going to get a little bit of draw out of this. Great Desert Prospector. Actually, I really like this card. So when he enters the battlefield, you're going to create a power stone for each creature you control. If you are ramping up early on, you know, if you drop this on turn 5, you've got 2 or 3 tokens, creatures out on the battlefield, you're going to get 3 or 4 of those power stones. So nice ramp. It's going to give you more artifacts on the field, which is great, and you can use that to cast your equipment. Court Street Denizen. Whenever another white creature enters the battlefield under control, you can tap target creature an opponent controls. That should be every turn. Here he's making a 1/1 white guy. So you're going to tap something down every single turn, which could offer up the opportunity for you to swing in. Soul's Fire. Absolutely love this card. Hold on, just trying to find the best way to keep these centered here for you guys. And hopefully the camera stays. There it is. Alright, so target creature you control deals damage equal to its power to any target. Basically a fling spell without having to sacrifice. Friggin' awesome. I mean, you can just stack up all of your equipment on one creature and you can nuke somebody for probably a lot of damage, especially depending on which enchantments you have out on the field, like All That Glitters, which is going to give you +1/+1 for every enchantment and artifact that you have onto your creature. I mean, that's just massive. Now, Rose Rune Treasure. You should also be getting this every turn. Whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, you're going to create a treasure token. You can do this twice every single turn. So if you have 2 creatures enter, you're going to get 2 treasure tokens every turn. At minimum, you're going to get that 1, and then you can pay X to deal damage to any target. So a direct damage target. This is great for token decks where you're going to be doing that basically every turn. Enduring Innocence. Another good one here. We got some nice draw going on. When a creature you control with power 2 or less enters, you're going to draw a card. Ability triggers once each turn. The nice part about this, if you lose it, not a big deal. It's going to come back to the battlefield unless they exiled it. So when it dies, yeah. Sanctuary Warden. Absolutely love this card. Alright. If it was any less than 6 mana, this card would be broken. I swear. So it's going to come in with 2 shield counters. And then when it enters the battlefield or attacks, you can remove a counter from a creature or planeswalker you control. You're going to draw a card and create a 1/1 green and white citizen creature token. Anytime that I can do this with planeswalkers, like the interaction, if you're going to +1 your planeswalker, and that's the most important thing you're going to do every single turn, +1 it, and then you can remove one of those +1s. So if your planeswalker is at like +6, it's going to stay at +6 for a long time. It also offers protection. It's pretty hard to get rid of this. You've got to exile it. It's going to survive multiple direct counter destroy spells. It's going to survive board wipes unless it's an exile wipe. I don't know how many people are playing mass exile. Probably only 1 or 2 in their decks. And even then, there are ways to protect it. Alright, Cloudsteel Kieran. I included this card for one reason and one sole reason. First of all, it's an equipment. Yes, that was okay, so 2 reasons. But second, equipped creature has flying and you can't lose the game and your opponents can't win the game. I don't care. I don't care. I just, so great. Alright, Jessica Thrice Reborn. Pretty good planeswalker here for your commander. So choose target creature until your next turn. If that creature would deal combat damage to one of your opponents, it deals triple damage to that player instead. You guys know how I feel about doing double and triple damage. Thundering Raiju. So Thundering Raiju saw a ton of play when it was in Standard. It is a haste spirit creature, and it's going to put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control every time it attacks, and it's going to deal X damage based on the number of modified creatures you control. Well, all of your creatures are modified if they have equipment on them. So if you spread your equipment out, you could end up doing anywhere from 5 to 10, 15 damage to each opponent. Alright, so even if it's only 5 damage, if you deal 5 damage to each opponent, that means you're dishing out 15 damage to every single player across the board. Alright, so 5, 5, 5, if you're playing with 3 people, it's just value. That's a nice amount of damage per turn. Alright, Aki Battle Squad. So whenever, again, modified creature control attacks, you're going to untap all of your modified creatures you control, and then after combat phase, you're going to get additional combat phase. Can you guys just imagine having both of these attack at the same exact time? You're going to do it twice in a turn. That's crazy. So if you dish out 5, it means you're dealing, even if you only have 5 modified creatures out on the battlefield, you're going to deal 10 damage to every single player during your battle phase. Not to mention the damage that your creatures are going to do. That's just some value right there. Oh. Choose target creature until if that creature would deal combat damage. I was about to be like, if it says deal damage on Jessica, we're dealing triple damage. That would be wild. Alright. Ryu, Storm's Edge. Whenever a samurai or warrior you control attacks alone, untap it. If it's the first combat phase of the turn, there is an additional combat phase. Multiple combat phases, guys. Come on. So if you attack alone with that Thundering Raiju, you're going to have all the damage from your modified creatures, and you're going to do that again. Oh, samurai or warrior. Darn it, Thundering Raiju, why aren't you a samurai warrior? Oh well. We can make him a samurai warrior. Whenever Iron Soul Enforcer. Alright, another good one here. Attacks alone. Return target artifact card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So we've just got some graveyard recursion. We're playing a lot of artifacts. If you get wiped, one of them gets spot destroyed. Great way to bring it back. Champion of the Flame. He's got trample. He's going to get +2/+2 for each aura and equipment attached to it. He's a 2-drop. Pretty nice early on. He's got 1/1. You've got tons of equipment in here. You should be good with getting him up. And he's got trample. So you're going to get the bonuses from the equipment. You're going to get his ability. And he's also got trample. So he's going to get through in most cases. Alright. Armory of Erois. Whenever a equipped creature attacks, you're going to put a +1/+1 on it. Since you're moving your creatures around, or your equipment, since you're probably going to add in some cards that are going to let you have free cost or free movement, you're going to have an opportunity to move this card around as the turns go on. So if you want certain things to get pumped up a little much, or you have flyers, you can throw it on your flyer later on. It's just a good equipment card, especially when you have drawn out games or your things keep getting destroyed. Alright, make a stand. Creatures you control get +1/+0 until end of turn and indestructible. It's going to save you from that board wipe. Foundry Inspector. Pretty straightforward. You're playing artifact spells, a lot of equipment. They're going to cost 1 less to cast. And Togo, the Goblin Weaponsmith. Probably my favorite card that I stumbled upon for this deck. It just tickles me to think about this. So whenever a land enters the battlefield under your control, create a colorless equipment artifact token named Rock with equipped creature has 1, tap, sacrifice the rock, and it deals 2 damage to any target. And it's an equipped 1. So the funny thing about this is you're just sitting there, you're letting, somebody's like, this thing doesn't matter. You know, he's just getting these little rocks every single turn. And I mean, towards, 5-10 turns go by, you got 10 little rocks in the corner, you're not using them for anything. And then you drop in all that glitters, attach that bad boy to a flyer, and you smack somebody for 10-15 extra, and you make that thing have triple damage, and all of a sudden you just have a lethal flying attack that was, everybody's just like, what just happened? Oh, it just tickles me. Alright, so onto the lands, and then a little bit some of the less important cards, but I'll just filter through. If you guys haven't seen them before, which I think I've included them in some of the bundles already, these Infinity lands are some of the most beautiful lands, especially, let's see if there we go, that galaxy foiling on there is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. So Fire Plains, little bounce land, some full arts. Oh, these are the other ones. Okay, so yeah, it was MH3, and then there was a, oh nice, all will be one. We got a nice Phyrexian text mountain. Kamigawa. I mean, some of these lands these days, the past year or two, it was touch and go there for a while on the lands. They were getting a little, I don't know, what was it, Streets of New Capenna, those like city ones, they just didn't turn me on, especially those ones. I remember those specifically. I don't know, I feel like they tried too much in them, if that makes sense. But anyways, Terramorphic Expanse, nice clear out, get some land out. Roadside Reliquary, we should have enchantment equipment on the board, so you're going to get to draw some cards if you need to. Emergence Zone, cast spells as though they have flash, that's pretty nice. I mean, you can flash in some equipment. And we're playing a lot of artifacts, so equipment, colorless, having the, if you control an Urza's Mine at 3, if you control them at 2, and then this one's at 2, so I mean, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana instead of 3. Who can complain about that? Especially as colorless, fantastic. So I always included cards that have synergy. You guys can pause, take a look at them if you've never seen them before. That one's going to generate life. This is going to be spot protection. Cast artifact spell is going to give you +1 counters. Casting tons of spells. Protection, indestructible. Equipment. This one's going to proliferate, so if you've got a bunch of things coming in with counters on it, this is going to be great. Or you can just put some counters and proliferate. It's going to cost 4. It includes your Planeswalker too, guys, so don't forget those Planeswalker. Those shield counters, those are included as well. We've got a living weapon. It's going to get +1/+1 vigilance and lifelink. This one, okay, so Phenom Blade is actually pretty nice, so it's going to get +1/+1 for each creature you control, which, mid-game, if people have let you run away with creating tokens, that's going to add up pretty good. Some spot protection, so artifact or creature gains hexproof and indestructible. We've got our own spot removal. No maximum hand size, so in a minute I'm going to review some of the cards and I'll link them in the description down below as well. The most of the cards that I'm going to recommend are going to give you that draw power, especially so here we'll just go through them real quick. Saram, Senior Edificer, I've got the Pure Steel Paladin, Akiri, Fearless Voyager, and Nahiri, Forged in Steel, or Forged in Fury, and then you have Wyleth, Soul of Steel. All are going to give you some great, they have great synergy with the deck. So, and then when you They're going to reduce the cost of your artifacts, they're going to reduce the equipment cost, and then they're going to give you draw for when your equipment come into play. All that glitter is going to give you 1/1 for every single artifact and enchantment on the battlefield. Freaking fantastic card. I mean, what is it, like a 2-drop? It's ridiculous. And then the last one I included was Nahiri's Resolve. Actually, I absolutely love Nahiri's Resolve. It's a 5-drop. What is that? It's 3, a red and a white. Enchantment. It's going to give your creatures +1/+0 and haste. And then at the beginning of your end step, you're going to basically blink out whatever you want, and then return it to the battlefield at the beginning of your upkeep. So the only downside is that if it's somebody else's turn and they do destroy it, when they get blinked back in, they will unfortunately not have haste. So that's the only downside. Other than that, it's an absolutely fabulous card. Alright, so heroic reinforcements. We're going to give our creatures haste. Surreal Memoir. Recast an instant from our graveyard, and you can probably do it twice. The Haunted Cloak, Vigilance Trample, haste. I mean, more. Oh, you got my love for Double Strike. Double Strike is so good. Austere Command. Get rid of the... Since we're playing a lot of tokens and then lower cost creature cards, there aren't a ton of creatures in here with over 4 mana. There are a handful, but not a lot. So you can essentially board wipe just about everybody except yourself. Triumphant Reckoning. This one is the most expensive mana cost included here, and you're going to return all artifact, enchantment, and planeswalker cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. That's literally all we're playing. Is artifact, enchantment, planeswalker, and then, you know, we've got a few creatures. Seraphic Greatsword, another equipment. I love Restoration of Ajanjo. You can fetch a plane, so it's going to thin your deck out. You can return a permanent that's 2 or less from your graveyard to the battlefield, and then it comes back to the battlefield transformed as a 3/4 with vigilance, and it's going to create tokens when it attacks. Absolutely great card. Ogre Held. Pretty much if your hand is dead, you can discard your hand, which if you have 0 cards in hand, you don't have to worry about it. You can sacrifice off those tokens that don't really matter. I mean, they kind of matter, but they don't really. And then you can draw 3 cards, which is fantastic. So you can get some nice card draw there, replenish your hand. This has got support 6, Skyboom Evangelist. Still struggling with saying that. Evangelist. Goodness gracious. So whenever a creature with a counter on it attacks one of your opponents, it gains flying. So support 6 is going to let you choose up to 6 creatures to add +1/+1 to. I think that's how support 6 works. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments below. I'm pretty sure that's what it is. You pick up to 6 creatures and you put 1/1s on them. But the fact that everything with a 1/1 on it's going to get flying is a great way to get your creatures over those over other creatures. Basic board wipe there, depopulate, contractual safeguarding. You're going to get shield counters. Apparently, shield counters are a wondrous thing in my... I don't know how I found like 2 or 3 cards that had shield counters involved in it. But it's going to give all your tokens shield counters, so it's going to protect you from at least 1 board wipe. If you proliferate those shield counters too, it's going to protect you from 2 board wipes. Alright, Ambitious Farmhand, great card. You're most likely going to hit that 3 or more creatures with different power requirement. So it's going to transform, but you're also going to get a planes, and it's just a 3/3 with lifelink. Don't knock lifelink in Commander, guys. Somebody whacks you for 40 damage exactly, and you didn't have any lifelink in your deck. You're going to be like, should have listened. Oh yeah, Commander Sphere, basic. Return to dust, exile, artifact, or enchantment, and then if you cast your main phase, you're going to do both. Nahiri's Storm of Stone. So really, we're just keeping this thing around for the first part, and that is as long as it's your turn, creatures you control have first strike, which is fantastic. Not as good as double strike, but it's still good. But activate equip abilities are going to cost 1 less to cast as well. So we're going to reduce the cast. So if we are not free attaching, we'll at least get a reduced cost. Bond of Discipline, another nice one here. We're just going to tap down everything everybody else owns, and we're going to swing away. Hopefully we're going to get multiple combat phases from that as well. It's just going to be deadly. Welding Sparks can deal X damage to target creatures, so spot removal. We should have a ton of artifact creatures, so it should kill just about anything. And then we've got another equipment here. So that is pretty much the bundle, my friend. Dominic, I appreciate the support, allowing me to make this content for the channel, share with them. It is a pretty freaking good deal. I know, especially those lands. Oh gosh, I gotta go look. Those infinity lands are out of control. Anywhere from $5 to $15. They're absolutely gorgeous. They're definitely in like my top 3 basic full art lands, specialty treatment, the whole 9. So if you guys want to comment down below, you guys can check out the description for some of the deck add-ons that I recommend for Dominic. And then you guys, if you have any suggestions of your own, if you play this deck or what you think might go good in it for him to add later on, all is welcome. Hope you guys have a great day.